What is going on, YouTube? This is Jim back with another video, and today I want to give you guys my initial impressions on Anthem. I've been playing it for the last week via Origin Premiere on the PC, and I have some thoughts for you guys that I want to share today. But before I get into that, if you like this kind of content, please let me know in the comments below, and while you're there, consider rating and subscribing. It definitely does help out my channel grow. Whether it's a thumbs up if you like it, a thumbs down if you don't, that's okay. Just let your opinion be known, because it does help shape what other content I want to do, and it helps my channel grow, which is very, very important to me. So with that, let's talk about Anthem. I've been excited about this game since the day it was announced at E3. I've been fortunate enough to participate in many open and closed betas, and I finally have some thoughts I want to share with you guys now that the game is out in the world and we can all play it. I have yet to beat the game, but I've logged about 35 hours at the time of this recording, so I feel as if I have enough opinion and I've seen enough of the game to kind of give you guys my initial impressions on it. And I have to tell you, they're very high. I really do enjoy this game. And I think it first starts with the Javelin. Now, you've probably seen some of the gameplay trailers and understand that there are some different Javelins to choose from. You can be an Interceptor, you can be a Storm, you can be a Colossus, which is my personal favorite. We call ourselves the Thick Boys. Or you could pick a Ranger, which is kind of a master of all things. Now, all Javelins don't necessarily have inherent weaknesses. Think of them more as strengths. Each Javelin specializes more in one thing better than the others, but that doesn't mean that there's any limitation. There's no gating in missions. You will be able to complete missions with 4 of the same or 1 of each. It does not matter. You pick the one that speaks to you, the skill set that speaks to you, and you customize it and make it your own. And let me tell you, in terms of customization, there is a lot to do. Let's first talk about the overall looks of the Javelin. Now, you can change the colors on just about every part of their body. You can change the material that they use. So sometimes it could be a coarse metal or a shiny metal or gun metal. You can pick different types of rubber. You can pick coarse rubber or texturized rubber, because you have rubber inlays and then you have the metal suit that goes over it. Lots of different customization in both color and in material. Additionally, you have these things they called vinyls. Just think of those as custom wrappers. So maybe like a flame on your character's shoulder or something. You could change the colors of those. You can unlock new vinyls. You can find them. You can craft them. There's a store where you can use in-game currency. You don't have to pay for them if you don't want to. And the best part is you could change them at any time for free. There's no gating on the color schemes. Some of the more valuable materials, some of the more unique materials do have a pay gate behind them, but you can unlock it with in-game currency. But you're going to have a litany of options right out the bat. On top of that, you can choose whether your Javelin is old or dirty or polished or shiny or matte, or just a litany of options. I can't even begin to tell you guys the insane amount of color and material combinations you can make for each of your Javelins. You could save them and customize loadouts. So if you want to be the old, like I've been playing as Hogan, so I've got a lot of bright yellow and bright red. I want to look like Hulk Hogan. I could do that, and then I could save that, and then I could start a new one, and I could just be all green and black and go like all Xbox if I wanted to. And I could toggle between the two rapidly in between missions. Lots of customization. I can't say enough good things about that. But that doesn't just end at the Javelin looks. It's actually how it plays as well. And you're going to get to choose a lot of different ordinances. Each character has like 2 special abilities. Think of it that way, plus an ultimate. The special abilities can be changed. They're on a timer. So I've been playing a lot with the Colossus. I could have a flamethrower or a railgun or a grenade launcher or a poison launcher, just to name a few. There are many to select from. Each of those have different random bonuses to them, such as increase magazine size, or do additional damage when enemies are on fire, or have more reserve ammunition carrying with you. And if you don't like those, there's a crafting system where you can go out in the world and collect different items and re-roll to get the perfect ability that you want. And I love that. It's a great, great system. You're going to have a ton of fun picking out the Javelin that looks and plays exactly like you want to. And since the core hook of the gameplay is going to be you flying around in this world, performing amazing feats, fighting monsters, you want that part of the game to fit well, and it does, and I love it for that. So that is a home run for me, just in that piece. But then you have this other piece to it as well. You have the Fort Tarsus, where you then go from a third-person view to a first-person view. That is where you walk around the town. That is where you talk to other NPCs. That's where you get your quests. Now, this is an independent world from the shared game world where you play with your friends. Your Fort Tarsus is your own, and that's been a big selling point, is whether BioWare can deliver on this great RPG experience. And if you can you talk to people and there's decision trees, can you kind of shape the world to your own? And the answer, unfortunately, is no, you cannot. There are a lot of NPCs to talk to. Some of them are just random fodder that don't really have anything to do with the story. Some of them are required to progress to other missions. Some of them, and talking to them, will give you side missions that you wouldn't have normally gotten. So it's definitely in your best interest to walk around and see it. And it's a beautifully scaped out area, and it's very, very large. Lots to see, lots of little collectibles that'll boost your experience with different factions to give you more lore of the world if you want it. You don't have to. The game does a great job explaining things to you, but if you want that ancillary, that 1% of the people who really want to see and understand more of this world, there's a lot of stuff to collect and see and read about. And those are all scattered around the world. You got around Fort Tarsus, you got to find those things. The problem is they kind of shoehorned in this decision tree system where it's all decisions are either good or bad. There's no overall system, so it's not like you're going to play Mass Effect as a Paragon or a Renegade. It has nothing to do like that. You could just cut people short. If some NPC starts talking and says, hey, do you want to hear about the time I went to go pet this wild animal? You could say, no. And they say, okay, and they walk away. Sometimes they'll say, are you sure? And then they'll just tell you about it anyway. If it's a mission important or something critical, the NPC will always find a way to bring it back to tell you the information they need to tell you. So it's not really that unique. And because the shared world that you go out into with your friends and the other Javelins is the same and static, really Fort Tarsus almost doesn't matter in a sense, because it doesn't matter if the NPCs there like you or not. They're still going to sell you the gear you need. They're still going to force you to take the missions that you have to take. I haven't found missions that have opened or closed because I've been nice or mean. So I think that's a total miss. And honestly, it's a waste of time. I don't really find much value in that personally. Most of us just blow through and talk to everybody to clear our map just to make sure there aren't any other dialogue options or side quests that we missed. Then we get back on our Javelin and go have some fun in the real game. So I think that's a major miss, and I think that BioWare really planting their flag in this game, talking about that decision tree system, it's not that great. And I think a lot of people, if you're expecting something along the lines of Mass Effect or Life is Strange or Walking Dead, you're going to be very, very disappointed. So that piece of it, not so great. But the part of the game that matters, the Javelins, it feels good, it feels great. The quests are unique, they're fun, they're rewarding. There's this really weird quest you're going to get to about halfway through the game where you're going to try to open these sealed doors, and the game's going to say you're not worthy because there's this alien technology that's kind of monitoring your progress. And it forces you to go along a litany of random things to do. To be worthy, you have to open 30 chests, revive 10 javelins, do 10 million damage with this type of gun, whatever it happens to be. That is extremely grindy, and it really breaks the pace of the game. When I got to that mission, as most of my friends and most of the people that are playing this game in early access have, I think we all agree that that was very broken. They may patch that by the time the game is released, I'm not sure. If they don't, just understand that at some point you're going to get to a part of the game where the fun's going to have to stop for a little while, and you're going to have to go off into freelance mode and patrol around the world and do these grindy things, find guides online for the most perfect route of opening chests, force a mission on your friends so they die so you can revive them 3 times in a mission, just so you can move on in progress. But once you get past that, the mission variety and the diversity pick up again very, very rapidly. I wouldn't say the story was the best. There were definitely a lot of loose ends. I think a lot of that ties to the fact that the whole Fort Tarsus thing feels extremely disconnected from the rest of the game. So there's definitely some room for expansion and some discussion what's going to happen next. I don't know if they're going to do paid DLC or if they're going to do content. And I'm not here to say that the story is as bad as Destiny, but this is not the story or the environment or character building, I should say, that RPG element that I thought BioWare was going to bring to the table. This isn't the game for that, unfortunately. So we're still kind of left with that Destiny's type situation where the gameplay feels great, the looting and the getting of more guns, the customization, the playing with your friends feels great. But then when you go back to do the story, there isn't really much there to sink your teeth into, and you don't really feel like you own the world. And I think that's a major really upset, because again, BioWare has been, branded as like the keepers of this game, and they've really tried to sell that they're going to make a great story. So I didn't see it. If I had to give the game a rating right now, obviously there's still a lot to do. I've seen Fort Tarsus slowly expand. They're adding more and more new stuff. They're going to add more content. They're going to add more stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the game that I got right now, the game that I installed a week ago that I've sunk 35 hours to. If this is the end, if they say, oh, Anthem is over, we're making nothing else, you get what you get. You can grind all the way to end game, which there hasn't really been a definition of what that even is yet. Who cares? If that's all you get and we're pulling development, the fact that the Javelin customization and controls feel so good, I'm awarding this game a 9 out of 10. I think the story does hold it back, but it's serviceable. Just understand that those other ancillary elements inside Fort Tarsus don't matter. But from a story perspective, or from a gameplay perspective, this game is phenomenal, and it really is a gold standard on how to make a game where you fly and it feels good, and you could hover and drop down and do melees and do crazy weapons and crazy combos and really take out opposition and feel like a true badass time after time after time. And that experience has not gone away with me. And going out in the field with your friends after you load up on a new ordnance and like, hey guys, check out what I can do, and everybody like, whoa, that's awesome. That feeling just doesn't get old. And really trying to min and max your character to build up everything with fire damage so that your flamethrower does ungodly amounts of damage, or to try to set up for your friend who's going to stand in the back with heavy artillery and just end the fight when you get this really cool weapon combo system going. There's nothing like it. So I love it. I am in love with it. I am all in on this game. I know they're going to make more, but if they didn't, it's a 9 out of 10. And this score will improve totally if they add more content. Fort Tarsus thing, unfortunately, didn't quite pan out. The BioWare promise of a great story and great influence you're going to have on the world, in my opinion, didn't quite pan out. But you know what? The gameplay is so good, I don't think it matters. So I highly endorse you, and I highly endorse this game, and I highly recommend to you to check it out. So with that, I'm going to close the video. I want to thank you guys again so much for watching. Again, if you made it this far, congratulations. Please consider commenting, rating, and subscribing. But if not, that's okay. No pressure. I'll be here to make more videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.